What's up, my peoples? It's your girl Misha. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a word for you, and it's God rewards you for faith. Rewards for believing and following God, okay? In Hebrews chapter 11 it says, without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Okay, what does that mean? It means trust and confidence and faith in God are completely required to have a relationship with him. But some people say, yeah, I know God. Enough of my enemies be like, yeah, I know God. God talks to me too. And that's a lie, because if God talks to you and you have a relationship with God, you wouldn't be disobedient. Well, you'll fight that. You definitely wouldn't do detestable things. You wouldn't work against him. You'll keep the 10 Commandments. You understand? Reading the Bible is getting to know God, being in his presence, fasting, praying. The Bible teaches you his character, his promises, what he likes, what he don't like, his wrath and stuff like that. Because everyone thinks God's a good God. God has wrath. God will unalive you for his people or for his children. Okay? So, faith is required to please God. Okay? Good works or religious rules do not impress God if they are not done without a heart of trust and faith. Okay, so you have to believing that he is. Coming to God requires the fundamental belief that he actually exists, he's real, okay, and is actively involved in the universe today. Okay, believing that he is a rewarder. True faith means trusting that God is good, okay, notices your effects and values those who earnestly look for him. So faith matters, isn't it? It highlights his generous nature and honors the sincere effort of those who turn to him. Okay? So what's faith? Faith proves belief. You must trust that God is real. Faith shows his trust. You must trust that God is good and keeps his word. And faith pleases God. Trusting him brings him joy, like a child trusting a parent. Okay? He will reward you because reflects his character. Okay, it shows he is a loving and generous provider. Okay, he rewards you because it shows his honor and effort. It values your persistence and earnestness search for a relationship with him, because you can see that you're trying, you're pushing to try and build a relationship with him. And you got honor, build a relationship with him. It turns faith into an active two-way connection instead of distance guesswork. You earnestly, I keep saying earnestly, seek him. And what does earnestly mean? Earnestly means to pursue God with deep passion, total focus, a wholehearted dedication. It is not a casual or lazy wish. It means putting God first above all things in life, wholeheartedly. And devotion, that's loving and wanting God with all your heart, soul and mind. Okay, in Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 29 it says, if you seek God with all your heart and soul, you will find him. Okay, active action, that's spending regular time in prayer, studying the holy word and obeying rules instead of just thinking about God. Okay, so you have to have a deep thirst for him, a craving for God's presence, like a person in a dry desert craves water. Okay, so nothing in this world can come near to God's presence. Nothing in this world can come near to God's presence. If you've ever had the presence of God around you, it's like this warmth. It's like you don't want to come out of it, brethren. I hate when I'm worshipping and I'm in the presence of God, and then my daughter might come in. She might come in and interrupt me, and then you have to get back in that presence again. Okay, you have to have strong faith. So believing that God is real and having faith, following Jesus is not easy. If you're chosen, you can't run. Listen to me, you can't run. Even Jonah tried to run. I've tried to run. You can't run. You cannot. If you're chosen, you cannot run. In every family, yeah, every bloodline is a chosen one, chosen for purpose, and you can't run. If you run, you're gonna go backwards and you're gonna sink, and then Satan's going to get you. So you can't run. There's no escape. The Bible speaks of God's character, promises and rewards. You will only get them through obedience and faith. Okay? So I just explained to you about faith. And if you want to know about faith, I believe it's Hebrews 11 or 12. It talks about everyone in the Bible had to go through it and have faith. And back then, they didn't even have Bible to read. We can read the Bible and know everyone's story. They didn't know what was going on with each other back then. They had to have faith and hear directly from God. Could you imagine the faith that Noah had to have? That Daniel had to have in the lion's den? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire? Joseph in the pit? All of them had to have faith. That's the word for today. Try and build your faith with God. Thanks for watching. Bye.